weird not to be dressed in white. I still. Well, I was going to ask you on Sukkot. Do you still wear your kittel and everything?
I don't. I mean, some people
do. I know. That's what I was kind of saying.
Actually, when do we change the?
Not till after Simchat Torah.
after Simchat Torah. I mean, there are a lot of different places that have different customs, but that's usually.
You have a seat over there. I saw a book. I got one too. Let's see if my memory serves me. Page 14.
Yeah.
It's not time to sing Kiyanu Amecha again, right? I feel like I sang that about 80 times yesterday. Not time for that right now. How are your services, by the way? Are they good? Yeah, good. Good. I'm thrilled here.
It didn't rain.
And it didn't rain. You go. Now it's raining. I don't know. What? I guess we would have been in the tent if it wasn't raining tonight, or we just.
No, I thought the tent was actually getting.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, look at my tally on. Sorry. You got your tally on. You put it away. Sorry. It's nice stuff. I love it. Let's make this official.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbos,
Shabbos. All of that for us. As long as you didn't use up all your voices singing yesterday.
We used up Avi Noam's voice.
You used Avi knows how. So did he head back already? He headed back today?
Yes, we did Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, okay.
Friday he's in the city.
What was that?
He's in the city tonight.
Huh. Okay. By the way, can I ask you a quick question? Masks up here still on? Yes, okay, I'm just making sure, okay. Then it stays on. Yedid nefesh al-Rahama Mishabdach el Ritzonach Yarutz Abdach Imo Ayam Yishtabaveh El Muhadara Kadma Ana Bitoda Naria Naria Let's all ye shenu Bismira Naria Lo Lehune Ranina Lehune Ranina Lehune Ranina Ladonai Lehune Ranina Lehune Ranina Lehune Ranina Ladonai Adonai, O Melech Adonai, Kol Elohim. Arba'im shana akud bedor va'omar am joy levavheim v'heim lo yadu drachai Asher nishmati ve'api im yavon el menuchati Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz Shiru l'Adonai baruchu shemo Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato safru Kevodo b'chol ha'amim niflotav Ki gadol Adonai u'melal me'od Norahu al kol Elohim Ki kol Elohei ha'amim elilim V'Adonai shamayim asa Vod v'hadar lefanavos v'tiferet B'mikdasho havu l'Adonai Mishpechot amim havu l'Adonai Kavod la'oz havu l'Adonai Kevod shemo Zinun mincha Uvol lehartzotav Ishtachavu Ilu mipanav kol haaretz Ruva goyim Adonai malach Abtikon tevel baltimor Avanim lemesharim Yismechu hashamayim V'tagil haaretz Iram hayam Umelo Ya'alon sadai V'chol asher bo Yai Az yiranenu Golat seya'ar Lifnei Adonai Kiva Yishbot ha'aretz Yishbot tevel v'tzedek Ve'amim ve'emunato Yadai dadai dadai Yadai dadai Second here. That's a little bit better. Okay. Or zaru al tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. Or zaru al tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. Ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. מזמור שירו לאדוני שיר חדש כי נפלאות עשה הושיע לו ימינו וזרוע קודשו תהיה אדוני ישועתו לעיני הגויים גילה צדקתו זכר חסדו ואמונתו לבית ישראל ראו כל אפסי הארץ את ישועת אלוהינו הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ פיצחו ורננו זמרו לגויים בכינור וכל זמרה עצרות וכל שופר הריעו לפני המלך אדוני ירם הים ומלוא תבל ויושביו נהרות עם כוכב יחד הרים ירננו לפני אדוני קיבה לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק בעם משרים ילאי לה 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 Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ramemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu. Lehar kodsho, ramemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu. Page 20, yes, please rise. Mizmor leDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai, Kavod ba'oz, Havul Adonai kevod shemo hishtach, Havul Adonai b'hadra kodesh, Kol Adonai amayim ve'el hakavod yirim, Adonai amayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai mehadar, Kol Adonai shover harazim, V'yishaber Adonai et arzei havanon, V'yarketim kemo egel Lebanon, Besiryon, kemo ben re'emim, Kol Adonai chotzev lahavot esh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Shalot Vayechesov Ye'arot Ubehechalo Ulo Omer Kavod Ay Adonai Lama Habu Yashav Yeshev Adonai Melech Le'olam Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitzir Adonai Yivarech Et Amo Bashalom Ay da da ay da 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 ay da da ay da da ay da da ay da da ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da da Anna bekoach gedulat yemincha tatir tzerua kabel minatamcha zagreinu tahorenu nora Anna bekoach gedulat yemincha tatir tzerura kabel minatamcha zagreinu tahorenu nora Anna bekoach gedulat yemincha tatir tzerura kabel minatamcha Zagvenu norenu nora ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Let's move this up a little bit. Page 21. Lecha dodi lekakala veleshama nekavela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmianu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad Shemoti Eret Velid Hila Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Likavela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Likrat Shabbat lechuvenelcha ki mekor haberacha merosh bekerem nesucha Socha aseh b'machshava tehila lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat kikavela lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekavela Mikdash melech ir melucha kul mitzikim etzof hapecha Rav lach shemek ba'emek havacha V'hu yachamol alayechem la lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela Itna arim me'afar kumi Livshi bigdei franzechami Al yad ben Yishai beit halachmi Orval nafshi yalla lecha dodi likrat kala v'neshama nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala v'neshama nekabela Likrakala neshama nekabela lo tifoshi v'lo tikami ma tishtochachi u'ma tehmi ma yechesu ani ami v'nivneta ir al ticha lechadodi likrakala neshama nekabela v'hayu limshosa shosayich v'rachaku kol mifbalayich yasis alayich Elohayich kimsos chatan al kala lechadodi likrakala neshama nekabela yamin u'shmal tifrotzi et Adonai ta'aritzi Aliyat ish ben parti v'nismecha v'yagila lechadodi likrakala v'neshama nekabela boi v'shalom ateret bala gam simcha uvtzapala toch emuneh am segula boi chala lechadodi likrakala neshama nekabela Page 23. Sorry. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer leshimcha elyon ulezamer leshimcha elyon להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלינה ועלי היגיון וכינור מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון שמחתני אדוני בפניך צדיק אתה אמרי כארץ בלבנון ישגה ישנים ורעננים יהיו להב היא השרה צלצול ולא אף לטבור. אדוני מלך יולבש חמש הלילה מקולות מים רבים אדירים משברי מקולות מים רבים אדירים משברי ים אדיר במרום ידי די אדיר במרום ידי די אדיר במרום אדוני אדיר במרום ידי די אדיר במרום ידי די אדיר במרום אדוני עדותיך נאמרו מאוד לביתך נבח קודש אדוני לאורך ימים. Baruch to hear. So nice to sing with you.
Yeah, your voice sounds great still. It's still...
After 8 hours.
After 8 hours, it sounds great. This week, we observe the Yartzeiten of Etta Scheffer, mother of Florence Grossman, Lottie Droller, mother of Michael Droller, Leo Herzog, grandfather of Jonathan Herzog, Helen Mayerson, mother of Howard Mayerson, Vivian Schwartz, mother of Matthew Schwartz, Irvin M. Fradkin, father of Lois Katz, Basil Tsetzo, father of Elizabeth Tsetzo, Alice Glickman, mother of Emily Glickman, and also Clara Brandis, who is memorialized on our board. May all of their memories be blessings now and always. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 24. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra kirutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael b'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav hu yasei shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. I hope it's okay. I've prepared a very lengthy sermon for tonight. Many. No, I just wanted to share one or two very quick thoughts about the Parsha, which is Ha'azinu, in which Moshe offers basically his final song or poem to the people, which is pretty much the last thing he's going to tell them. And at the beginning of the song, he says, Kishem Adonai Akra Havu Godel Lelohenu. When I, basically a command to the people, when I call out God's name, come and basically aggrandize God's name, but come and make a bracha, basically, is how the tradition understands this. And this is the place from where the rabbis and the Talmud derived that before you read Torah, you actually have to make a blessing. And they ask, because the rabbis love asking questions like this, well, if Moshe makes this blessing now, why didn't he make this blessing before? Because Moshe has been speaking Torah for ages at this point. Why didn't he make it, 40 years ago, or maybe at the beginning of Devarim? Or why does he make it now only at the end? And one of the answers given by an early 20th century Hasidic Rebbe is, I think, quite beautiful. He is named Avraham of Sokchov. And he says basically that this is the first time Moshe has spoken for himself. He says for the rest of the Torah, he uses a phrase that appears early in the tradition. He says, "Hashchina medaberet mitoch grono shel Moshe." The Shechina was speaking from within Moshe's throat, basically, and that for all of this time, it wasn't really Moshe speaking. It was Moshe as sort of a mouthpiece, or as, God's, public relations person, saying exactly what is supposed to be said. And finally, at the very end of his life, Moshe actually gets to speak for himself. Which is, I think, a very beautiful idea. And he says this poem, which we'll learn a little bit more about it tomorrow, but one of the things that a lot of the commentators ask is, well, so why finally a poem? It's harder to understand, it's less clear, it's more mysterious. And there's two things I want to point out, I think, about this. The first is that it takes a long time to find our own voice in the context of Jewish life. For Moshe, it takes an entire lifetime, actually, before he is able to speak on his own behalf to the people. And Judaism is hard. This is something that I sort of impress upon my students of all ages, but particularly on my young students sometimes. Judaism is wonderful and Judaism is sweet, but there's also a lot to learn. There's a whole language, and there's all these laws, and there's all this history, and there's all these different beautiful conversations which are not always so easy to understand, right? And it's a beautiful tradition, but it's also a demanding one. And it can take a very long time, I think, before we find our authentic voice in it, and before we can bring the fullness of ourselves to it in a way that's deep and authentic, and that we can then share it with other people. And it takes Moshe an entire lifetime. And the second sort of little thought I want to share about this is that, on the subject of Moshe's final words to the people being a little bit less clear, a little bit more turbid, a little bit harder to make sense of, the people are about to enter this very new stage of existence, when they're going to be building a country, and they're not going to be living beneath the shelter of God's wings all the time. They'll be off on their own. It's going to be a more complicated life in a lot of ways. And I think, for all of us who were here, for instance, at the PJC last night, and it was, I think, most of us, I think it was all of us other than you guys, because you were working elsewhere. I felt, at least, like we were up in this high place. We were on this mountain, kind of. We were living in this very wonderful, but also fragile and momentary kind of existence where we're all there. Just like the people, or Moshe standing at the mountain, or the people wandering through the desert eating only manna. And they're going to actually come down from that a little bit. And Moshe's final things to the people are a little bit less clear. Right? It's not exactly so clear what life's going to look like. And I think the holidays can bring us to such heights, and I really think at the PJC we achieve something incredible. But then we come back down to earth and we have this Shabbos here, and what are we going to do with our lives? And what are we going to do with that energy? And and how are we going to bring our full selves to it? And what are we supposed to say? And it's confusing. I have a commentary about that for you, actually. I looked it up. And it's confusing. And so I think another thing that's happening with Moshe here, he's making this transition from being up on the mountain to being in the real world. And it's not that we forget what's up on the mountain, it's how do we take that and live a life with it and find our own voice in it. So I pray that we work on that this year, that we all have the strength and the courage and the wisdom to sort of part some of that fog, and even in the context of a confusing life, sort of find our voice. We will continue with Mariv. I am happy to lead unless anyone has a burning desire to lead. Did anyone really want to lead? Not tonight. Anyone really want to lead? All right.
I gotta get more ready.
All right. Oh, yeah. You want to join after? Okay. Page 28. Kol HaKavod. Would you like to face the Kahal or face the down in the outward? Face the Kahal? Okay.
Well, we'll help you out.
We'll help you out. Here, well, you got to get a talus on your back there. Here you go. This is a good one. Oh, yeah. There you go. Page 21. Please write. I'm sorry. Page 28. Please.
Baruch Hu Adonai Baruch. Baruch Adonai Baruch Ulam Baruch. Ma'avir Yom U'Me'evin Laila Ma'avdil Kodesh Ma'avdil Ben Yom Ben Laila Adonai Tzvot Shema Elchai V'Kayam Tamid Yim Lachalena V'Lam V'Ed Baruch Adonai Amari V'Aravim Yavetcha Tzasir Meni L'Alamim Baruch Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Elohecha Melech V'malchuto b'ratzon kabel dehem Moshe b'nei Yisrael lachono shira b'simcha ba v'mukulam V'kamor chaverim Adonai V'kamor chaverim b'kodesh Norat seilot osech Malchutcha v'uvanecha B'kei לפני משה הזה לי ענו ואמרו היינו לעולם ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל אשכבי אדוני תהי לשלום ושמור צאתנו Uvenu l'chaim l'shalom mi'ata v'yad olam ufras salin sikat shlemecha baruch atah Adonai hafras sikat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim v'sham eruv Yisrael et ha-shabbat la'asot et ha-shabbat V'dorotam berit olam Hayayay Beinim Uven b'nei Yisrael Ot ilei olam Yishteshet yamim Asa Adonai Ten shamayim Et ha'at Uvayom ha'shvi Shalak loinash Ikeda Vikeda Shemerava, Madarakate Mikmakate, Chayacham Yom Echad V'chai L'chol Bet Yisrael, B'olaz Makrid B'Ramen, V'chesh V'Rach, Yiparach V'Shabach V'Yiparach V'Mami Nasei, V'Tadar V'Talev V'Talas Mek V'Shaber, Le'elam Yikar B'Chatar V'Shiata, Shush B'Chatar V'Cham Antad V'Ramen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei whoops. Melech Shamayim v'Haaretz v'Chol Tzavam Elohim Hayom Hashvit V'Chol Asher Asa V'Chol Hayom Hashvit Mikol Melachto Asher Asa Baruch Elohim Hayom Hashvit Shato, Yigal Shabbat Mikol Melachto Asher B'Haaretz Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol V'Yibor V'Nera Eloyan Koneh Shamayim v'Haaretz Magen Avod V'Dvaro Mechayim Eitim B'Maro Ha'el HaKadosh Ein Kamohu Ma'aniach L'Omo Yom Shabbat Kosher Yivam Ratzav L'Aniach Lahem Yivam Ratzav L'Aniach Lahem Lefanov Navod Yivam Tavad V'nei Yishmor V'chol Yom Tamid El HaHodot Adon Shalom, Mekadesh HaShabbat, Moret Sheli, Umaniach Lekusha, Lamin Yishusha Kohen, Lechel Maaseh, Maaseh. Elohim Latina Ritzebani Binukatina Kadshana Biniswataka Technical Canberra Sabini Mitivacha Samkhenu Vishuatacha Vitali Beni Lovatacha Bemet Van Hileni Elohim Bavaritsan Shavaka Shaka Nikla by Israel and Kadesh Shemacha Berchtarana Mekadesh Hashava. Ikadav Ikadashimava. Kamad Vakatelem Pakate, Vakayacho, Yamakhan of Kaidakopet Israel, Valos Makvim, Rame, Ishmael Rafalamaya. Ibrak is Bakli Parabis Mamina, say, Visit Arvital is Blush Make it Shabbat, Leilam and Hokasatra, Tusbekata Makamata, and Ramam, Amen. Kikabat, the turn of a hond, the place, Akadam of a hond, Ishmael, Amen. Yeheslam Rabam, Shemaya, Vakayim, and a place, Amen. Oseshon Ramafia, Seslam, and a place, Amen.
Get it, space 49.
Right behind you. It's a mystery.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam b'rei pri hagafim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishalnu mitzvotav v'yatzavanu v'shabbat kadsho b'yahava v'tanku kilanu zikaron l'maaseh b'reshit kiryam techilat l'mikrai kodesh zechel l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'yatanu kidashta Mikol Alim V'Shabbat Kadshecha V'Yahava Uvratzon Kinchal Tamim Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol latet g'dula v'tzeh breshit Shelo asanu kikoye aratzot v'lo asamanik mishbechot hadama Shelo asam kelkeinu kahem v'gor alindu kecholamim V'anak muharim v'mishachavim umadim Lifnei melech malchei amakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai v'melech al kol haaretz V'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad U'shemo
echad Shekoach. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 52. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'b'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. B'agala u'b'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei. Vitadar, vitale, vitalal, shmed kudsha, bricho. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu yasei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. For announcements, I'll invite up President David.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Always wonderful to see everyone here tonight. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. First off, we want to thank our Kiddush sponsors. We have a Kiddush tomorrow, and it's sponsored by the Barbacks, Spencer and Ronnie Barback. So we should thank them. Anyone who wants to sponsor, though we're a little iffy yet as to whether we can have Kiddush is going forward after at least next week with the weather. Please contact Andrea Rothberg or Barbara Saunders Adams. We still have a high holiday schedule. We have building the sukkah, which is this Sunday at 10 a.m. Please come help build it. If there's a lot of people, it goes pretty quickly. I want to mention that Rhonda Singer and the rabbi are working on forming a Bikur Kolim group. Rhonda's been doing this herself for quite a while, but it would be wonderful to have more people participating in that. It's a great mitzvah. Also, on another mitzvah, Jill Goldenberg is running the soup kitchen, CSA Soup Kitchen, and this Thursday, September 23rd, they need volunteers to provide roasted or rotisserie chicken, salad, and brownies. Please contact her for information, and you can always just run over to Fairway. They have nice roasted chickens. I don't think they care whether they're kosher, and so if you want to contribute, it's pretty easy. So think about that. We have the adult education coming up for the new year. There's a pamphlet, but the information is on the weekly announcements, and if you want to participate, contact Julia Kloss, not Cross, Kloss. I added an R there. I take it back. Okay. And this is news. This is news to me. We are participating in the PJC 2021-22 Scholar Stream program. Could you talk about that?
It's a really cool thing. The PJC pays $450 for the whole year for all of us to have access to all of. So it started during the pandemic. JTS puts together like really, really high level classes and speakers. You can just click and sign on. And because we support it as a conservative shul, and because it's a good thing to support, and also it's a nice thing to have access to, we have access to all of that stuff for free. And you just have to just call that. I think you have to click the link in the things that are going out, and it'll lead you to where you can like register and get a link for that. And it's really high level, wonderful teachers. And check it out.
And that's probably costing about $2.50 out of your dues. Not bad. Pretty good deal.
It's a nice thing for the shul to support because it fosters Jewish learning in the world, and we should take advantage of it because it's. We did it last year, and I think people enjoyed it.
Okay, and also I think you wanted to announce the passing of Todd Eckelman's mother.
Yes. We sent out an email just before shul. If anyone's listening online. Todd Eckelman, who is a member, though he's moved to Florida, though many people here know him quite well. I spoke to him just before Yom Kippur, and he lost his mother fairly suddenly. She was sick for not too long, and he's also lost his stepfather and brother this past year. And brother, right? Yes. Brother, and so it's a lot of loss, and Todd seems to be doing okay, but I had only a brief conversation with him, so if you knew Todd well, which a lot of people in this community did, please consider reaching out. I'm sure he would appreciate a phone call. Shiva and the funeral are taking place in Tampa, where his mother and he live.
I think that's it for the announcements. So everyone, wonderful. Well,
אחרין יחיד כייחודו נעלם וגם אינסוף לאחדותו או אין לו דמות הגופנו גוף לא נערוך אליו קדושתו קדמו לכל דבר אשר נברא ראשון והן ראשית לראשיתו הינו אדון עולם בכל נוצר יורה גדולתו ומלכותו שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומעביד את אמונתו תורה דמנתן לעמו על יד נביאו lo yachal lifahel velo yamir dato leolamim lehezulato tzofeh v'yodea setarenu Mabin lesof davar v'kadmato Gomel leish chesed gimifalo Noten lerasha rak rishato Yishlach leketz yamim meshichenu Lifdod mechakei ketz yeshuato O mitim yechayel v'rov chasto Baruch hadeyan Shem dilato Mitim yechayel v'rov chasto Baruch hadeyan Shem dilato. Good Shabbos, everyone. I was going to say, if you ever want to bring your glove on Shabbos, I would love to have a catch.
Before Shabbos.
Yeah, before Shabbos. Yeah.
I can bring my glove.
Or we can do it after shul on Saturday if you come. But,
I can bring my cricket hat.
play catch on Shabbos? I play catch on Shabbos.
It surprised me. I didn't know you were supposed to do it, but being in the LaFell environment.